Real Madrid president Florentino Perez and his advisors reportedly decided in a late-night meeting on Sunday that Xabi Alonso's last chance at keeping his job comes against Manchester City.
In 5 weeks, Los Blancos saw their 5-point gap atop the La Liga standings turn into a 4-point deficit. The club only managed one win in its last 5 league matches, most recently suffering a dismal 2-0 defeat to Celta Vigo. Throughout the poor run of form, pressure has slowly been mounting on Alonso, who has come under fire for bizarre tactics and a public falling out with Vinicius Júnior. Despite signing a 3-year contract with Real Madrid, the Spanish boss could only be in charge for the next few days. According to Marca, Perez called a crisis cabinet after the team's shock result against Los Celestes to discuss Alonso's fate. After only leading the Spanish Giants to 2 victories in their last 7 matches across all competitions, the 44-year-old reportedly has just 1 game left to save his position at the biggest club in the world, Wednesday's marquee clash with Manchester City. Should Real Madrid be on the wrong side of another embarrassing display and result, all signs indicate that Alonso's time on the touchline at his former club will come to an end. The team's poor performances, growing injury crisis and referee Quintero Gonzalez's 3 red cards to Fran García, Álvaro Carreras and Endrick were also discussed in Sunday night's crisis meeting, per Marca. Although most of the blame falls on Alonso, Perez reportedly acknowledged the lack of leadership among the current players at Real Madrid. Losing Toni Kroos and Luka Modric in back-to-back summers not only left 2 holes in the team's midfield, but in the dressing room as well. The president is thought to be leaning toward a reconfiguration of the team this summer if things do not improve. The likes of David Alaba and Antonio Rudiger, who are both out of contract at the end of the season, could be just the first 2 of several major exits coming the way of Real Madrid. All eyes will be on Los Blancos when they kick off against City at the Bernabeu on Wednesday night. A statement performance could make all the difference for both Alonso and the team, but with so many defenders out injured, the task will be a monumental one for the 15-time European champions. Xabi Alonso launched an astonishing tirade against the referee that oversaw Real Madrid's shock defeat at the hands of Celta Vigo in La Liga on Sunday. Alonso said he hated the performance of match official Quintero Gonzalez, who sent off Fran García, Álvaro Carreras and Endrick during a fractious 90 minutes. The latter was on the bench at the time and so it didn't reduce Real Madrid's on-field numbers any further. Including the 2 yellow cards shown to García and Carreras, plus 1 given to Alonso himself for furious protestations, the referee dished out 8 bookings to Los Blancos. Carreras, Rodrigo and Federico Valverde were cautioned for dissent in the closing stages, while Jude Bellingham got his booking for re-entering the pitch without permission after being treated for an injury, a standard punishment for that offense. However, Real took exception with that given the reason he was off the pitch was an unpunished Celta elbow left him bleeding. The red to Carreras was something he was clearly looking for. He let Celta waste time, never even warned them about it, kept stopping play every time. I hated his performance. Celta were 1-0 ahead when Carreras was dismissed as tensions boiled over, going on to double that lead deep into stoppage time at the end as Williat Swedberg got his 2nd goal of the match. With things remaining heated in the Santiago Bernabeu tunnel after the final whistle, Gonzalez's report of the match alleges that injured Real Madrid captain Dani Carvajal approached him and said, "The level you're playing at." And then crying at a press conference. Real Madrid have often claimed injustice at the hands of referees in recent years, with Real Madrid TV notorious for making videos scrutinizing various officials and highlighting mistakes. Last season, Ricardo de Burgos Bengochea was reduced to tears at an emotional press conference by claims that Barcelona win a high proportion of games he referees after being chosen to officiate the Copa del Rey final between the Catalans and Capital Club. Real Madrid had a few months earlier formally complained to Spain's High Council for Sports, alleging that refereeing in the country is rigged. Here, there could be little complaining about Garcia's costly dismissal, which came at a time when Real were already trailing and chasing the game. The left back was guilty of making 2 reckless challenges, with the second almost immediately following the first. Television cameras caught Alonso's reaction as García was trudging off the field and it was clear that the boss was incredibly frustrated with the lack of discipline he'd just witnessed. "Don't With me, are the words he allegedly yelled from the technical area. Alonso and his team must quickly regain their focus because the Champions League visit of Manchester City to the Spanish capital looms in the coming days. He noted that Real are angry about how Sunday went down and wasn't the game or result we wanted. He was also left ruing the injury to Eder Militão that hurt the team and from which he said it was hard to recover. Real Madrid sit fifth in the Champions League standings with only 3 match days of the league phase remaining, but only 3 points separate them from Galatasaray in 14th place, and so there is still an awful lot at stake. Just the top 8 qualify automatically for the round of 16, with the next 16 best teams all required to play an additional knockout playoff.